Well, you guys play followers of Jesus.
Yeah.
These are daunting roles to take on. I mean, you're playing real life characters, beloved characters. What were some challenges you faced tackling these roles and really getting to know these characters?
I think one of the biggest challenges is that for a lot of the disciples, there's not a lot written about them. So sometimes you need to kind of join the dots with the characters. So, for example, we can see with John that, well, they get named, for example, Sons of Thunder. So so John's called the Beloved, but then he's also called Sons of Thunder. And, Jesus says, use your righteousness for good. So we can kind of determine that these guys, they're loving, but they're just a little bit too hot-headed. So from there, you can give yourself an endpoint of, we end up being these disciples, like you said, that are, quite, revered and whatnot, but now we're at the start of the journey. So it's perfect for us. I mean, it makes it a little bit easier for us because you can start off at the point of being a little bit immature, but then there's a maturity that we reach. So before that, it can be difficult, but you can join the dots, which is probably what everyone has to kind of do in the show, I would say, all the actors.
Yeah, I mean, going from a scene where you have to rage towards Samaritans to, like he said, being called beloved at the end, that transformation, yes, we have to connect the dots, but how do I find that? And I think it's just it's a great way to grow with the role, to understand hey, when I'm angry, this apostle was also angry and went through this journey. And so I have to learn how to use this anger to keep myself steadied, because we were angry, but he said, don't do anything. That didn't take away the anger.
Right.
So you still have these emotions, you just act differently and things will change. So.
Yeah. It's really practical application to our own lives. How have your spiritual journeys been impacted by getting to know the disciples and Jesus Christ himself?
I think one of the luckiest, we're some of the luckiest people in the world, because I always say this as an episode, I'm pretty sure it's episode 6. It's called Indescribable Compassion, season 1, where they lower the paralytic into Zebedee's house, into our house. Yeah. Although you weren't there. It was the other James. I'm sorry.
It was me.
It was you. Abe was there.
From another dimension.
But I know that Jesus teaches a parable in that scene. And why we're so lucky is we get to hear it. And when we're in character, it's John, but then George creeps in as the actor, but like the person coming in going, I want to listen. That ability to listen to these things in the moment as the characters, I can't tell you how powerful and moving that is. And the thing is, people here watch the show, they get that same feeling, but it's something, I don't mean to say it, but it's something so different for us when we're there. It's an absolute privilege. It's crazy and it's so moving, and I'm hearing these words in a different way. I was raised Greek Orthodox, and sometimes, you go to church when you're like 5 and it can be a little bit like, I'll start playing with like a piece of paper or whatever, but now I can hear the words from someone who's relatable, and that's what our show has done. Church is still, great, and the priests are very relatable as well, but hearing Jesus' words the way that we've done it, especially the way Jonathan's done it, it's something different.
Yeah, to just kind of piggyback on what he said, I think that putting ourselves in the roles and understanding the sacrifices that these characters made, it hits differently, and I've kind of said this to the other people, but if I were to ask you to drop this microphone right now, stop doing your job and go out there because it's time now, how would that impact you right now, right? That hadn't hit me yet.
That's a journey that a lot of the disciples, they feel that this season.
Yeah, we feel that this season. We go back and, I probably shouldn't talk. Almost that.
That's okay.
But looking at what you left behind for your faith, this is something else.